edition of Car and Driver.
Let's start this show off with an optical illusion from Ford. What are you seeing here? An Explorer? Well, now let's move in our handy 6-foot measuring device, me. Now you can tell this giant Explorer look-alike is really the Expedition. But there are no illusions here, no sleight of hand in the redesign. Ford's second-generation full-size sport utility is new from the ground up and is a huge improvement for 2003. The first reaction to seeing the new Expedition is deja vu, that you've seen this before. And you have in the remake of the Explorer 2 years ago. But Ford didn't want a different look for the Expedition as they expand their lineup of sport utilities.
Explorer has been very, very popular. The new four-door Explorer is still the best-selling sport utility vehicle in the world. Its heritage, its DNA says Ford SUVs, and the Expedition, we want to be part of that family resemblance, and also I think functionally want that family resemblance, and that's part of the promise that we have to the customer, that we're going to deliver what Ford Outfitters is all about.
That functional resemblance begins with the new chassis, with hydroformed frame rails and massive cross members, and in the rear, independent suspension. The same design as the Explorers, but scaled up with huge cast aluminum dual wishbones and coilover shocks on all corners. And with new rack and pinion steering, the Expedition has remarkable new road manners.
Boy, seldom has such a complete transformation taken place on any Ford vehicle I can remember. The Expedition used to have very wandery steering. You had to herd it down the road all the time. They've gone to a new rack and pinion system that is very precise. Infinitely better steering feel than before. It has an independent rear suspension, huge difference in ride and handling both, and even better improvement in packaging.
The packaging improvement is the frame-mounted position for the differential that allows the floor to be 9 inches lower in back. But Ford is filling those inches with a standard third-row seat that can be optioned to flip down electrically. There are sensors to keep from crushing the family poodle as you do this. And once you have the seats down, you get a flat load floor and the same interior cargo space as before, 110 cubic feet. Up front, the interior gets a stylish redesign that is distinctly less truck-like than before. In the Eddie Bauer edition, the front captain's chairs can be both heated and cooled for driver and first passenger. And Ford's adjustable pedals help smaller drivers sit away from the airbag in the wheel. Second row seating can be bucket seats or a 40-20-40 split arrangement. And with Chris as our 6'4" tester, the third row really can welcome full-size adults who can be entertained when the scenery proves boring with the roof-mounted DVD player.
Ford's really upgrading all of their interiors. The material feel is quite a lot better. The vent registers are ringed in real aluminum right now, and just the kind of the graining and surface texture and the materials used throughout is a much higher spec kind of a deal.
And the safety features are also a higher spec. Curtain airbags are available. Massive disc brakes are on all corners behind the 5-spoke alloy wheels, wearing huge 17-inch 70 series Continental tires with optional inflation sensors. The optional backing sensors now use both sonar and radar to check for obstructions, and Ford's optional stability system they call Advanced Track will dial in a spot of brake to keep you on line in the corners if you get too enthusiastic for conditions. And Advanced Track has a role to play in off-roading in the most challenging difficulties, say with only one front wheel getting traction. The Tahoe can't manage that obstacle, but the Expedition can.
And what it's doing there is the four-wheel drive system, or the control track as we call it, will transfer the torque automatically from front to rear, and then the Advanced Track system will transfer the torque from side to side, so you were able to drive off even though you only had one tire.
Or what if you have no traction in the rear and a slight obstruction in front? Not a situation the Sequoia is designed to handle. but it's no problem for the Expedition. The new four-wheel system is so competent you may take the 5,600-pound Expedition into seriously difficult challenges with absolute confidence. But the Ford engineers who developed it are concerned the public won't understand how sophisticated their new system really is. And they're probably right, since we know 95% of sport utility buyers will never venture off-road and certainly won't be diving into the mud pit. But for the ones who may, Ford has raised the bar for four-wheel drive systems to new heights. And there are improvements under the hood. With a choice of V8s, our tester had the larger 5.4-liter producing 260 horses, 350 pound-feet of torque, but doing that work with new refinement and class-leading smoothness and relative quiet when measured from the cabin. The power combined with the new disc brakes have raised the tow rating for 2003 to 8,900 pounds, which is more likely to be what Expeditions will be doing for their owners, along with running those weekday errands that make sport utilities the preferred choice in America. And for all the changes for 2003, Ford has no change on the sticker. From a base price of $31,295, our Eddie Bauer tester with all the convenience options, navigation, and DVD stickered at $49,425, as Ford makes a dramatic move to redefine the ride, the handling, and the comfort of full-size sport utility. The summary? Well, start with bigger, stronger, faster, quieter. And then there's the huge improvement in handling and ride, and the air suspension option coming later that will lower the Expedition to make it easier to get in and out. Man, that's Range Rover luxury. Or it was, but not now. It's now part of Ford's plan to climb back to the top of the sales chart with the 2003 Expedition.